Our first keynote speaker today is Dr. Erdal Oskaya, excuse me, who is creating a culture of innovation and enabling businesses to stay secure as Standard Chartered Bank. Dr. Erdal is going to talk about creating a culture of innovation and enabling businesses to stay secure. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Dr. Erdal Oskaya to begin his presentations. Dr. Erdal, you can go ahead now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And here I am. Let me just share my screen with you so you can see my presentation as well. Perfect. Today, I want to talk about digitalization. You know, the world has changed as all of you know. We are more digital now, but while we're changing, what is affecting our future? Of course, me having a PhD in cybersecurity, written many books in cybersecurity, I'm going to talk about the security aspect of our future. My name is Dr. Erdal Oskaya. Currently, I'm working at Standard Chartered Bank as the Regional Chief Information Security Officer. I have written more than 16 books, many certifications, many exams for vendors such as Microsoft, EC Council, Logical Operations. And today, I would like to also share my contact details with you. If you in any of the social media channel, you can just subscribe, follow me at LinkedIn or Twitter, or even my YouTube channel where I share lots of free videos. And one more surprise, I'm pretty sure you heard about my latest book by now called Incident Response in the Age of the Cloud, just released maybe 2-3 weeks ago. If you tweet about this session or take a screenshot and share this at LinkedIn or any of the social media channels which I shared here, then 5 of the people they get the most comments is gonna win of ebook of their choice. Okay, unfortunately ebook, but hopefully next year when we do this event physically, I will sign the book for you personally and I will be able to send it to you. All right, as I said, our world has changed. I mean, change in digital world was coming for so many times, for so many years. Remember, I think it started in the late 90s, Hotmail, free email service, then Yahoo Mail, then Gmail. You know, this was the first steps that we went to the cloud. Then people start to talk about cloud. Oh, the cloud is coming. Then people start to talk about digital transformation. And people like me used to recommend all of you, hey, be ready. Transform digitally, because you cannot work, doesn't matter where you are, with the same old mentality. You have to modernize yourself. An example, our ancestors, you know, they used to use camels or horses to transport from A location to B location. But today, we either use cars, buses, or airplane or ships. We had to transform digitally, not digitally, physically, to be ready to this century. Same applies to digital transformation. For years, we were saying, ladies and gentlemen, dear business stakeholders, please, you know, it's time for you to use Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, or Zoom, because one day you're gonna have a time that you cannot go back anymore. And unfortunately, the time just came last year with a little virus that we cannot even see called COVID, Corona, which changed the world totally. You know, we all were locked down in our houses. Some of us are still, you know, Germany announced they're going to be 5-day lockdown just, I think, next week. Many countries are still in restrictions. Same with UAE. We are the lucky ones to have, I had my 2 vaccines already. We're the lucky ones to be ahead of the world, but we still have restrictions to wear our mask. You know, when you go to shopping center, there is limitations to enter. Not 500 people can enter the same shop, and so on. We call this the new normal. It changed the way we live. You know, We used to shake hands, now we have to either shake wrist or we have to, use different methods. We used to hug each other, two friends, when we see each other in the events. Now we have to keep social distance. We used to go to sport games to protect our teams. Now we just send our pictures, and unfortunately, TV is the only way that you can watch sports. What else? We have to wear masks, regardless if you had the vaccine or not. Mask is compulsory in public places. Besides that, most of us do work remotely. I mean, I am at the moment, as you noticed, at home, but I had just a very important regulatory meeting via Microsoft Teams remotely. I didn't have to go to the regulator's office because we all work in limited numbers depending on the job that we're doing. The way that we attend conferences, this conference is supposed to be face-to-face, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But inshallah, next year around this time, we will be able to shake our hands. We will be, if necessary, hug each other and do it. But for now, it's virtual. So let's start digital, the future of digital. It's like, look, this is a cup of coffee. Let's say you don't know me. I'm a dirty looking guy, and middle of night, while you're walking in the street, I just come and offer you coffee in a cup like this. Would you take a sip of the coffee, or would you be hesitant to get drink from a stranger? I guess second option, right? So let's start with you. Do you know what is running in your computer? When I say that, like, maybe you don't know. Do you know how many applications do you have in your iPhone or Android phone? Do you know what permissions that you give to the app developers? When you go to a website, when they ask you to allow cookies, when they ask you to share, when you sign up to conferences, when there is a tip box saying we're going to share this information with third party, do you know which third parties this information is going to be shared with? Back to my coffee example. If you go ahead, for example, and download a movie instead of going to cinema, I'm not talking about Netflix, I'm talking from untrusted resources, or instead of buying my book, you go to the internet and download it from a website which gives it for free. Do you know what is inside embedded to this book, to the program? Let's be honest, we never did it. I mean, I did it when I was young. I don't want to lie. I didn't have enough money. I used to download books, videos to improve myself. Mistake, but I did it. But even then, I never did it in my physical device. I used to do it either in another PC or in a virtual device. Why? To secure my identity, to secure myself. Because it's like getting the drink of coffee. Maybe there is a pill which is going to make me sleep, and they're going to steal my liver or my iPhone or my wallet, or they're going to take some stupid pictures of me and share it on the internet. So another question. Look, you might hire world's best security guy. Let's press a button. We go to 2050. We get the latest security technology from 2050. Press the button. Shoo, we are back in 2021. Let's implement this. Use the latest and greatest operating system. Use encryption. Use firewall, antivirus, like Commodore or Microsoft or FireEye, you name it, technology to protect your environment. But then there is someone like me, a human, who somehow clicks on something which he or she is not supposed to click. Who will win? Unfortunately, human error is always bypassing the security metrics. There is two types of organization. One, they know they've been hacked. Two, they don't. This is said by James Comey, who is the ex-FBI director, He is ex because the ex American President Trump kicked him out. Anyway, excuse me. In my opinion, there is two types of organizations too. One, they hire the right talent and build a proper cybersecurity strategy before a cyber attack. Two, they select talents based on nationality, based on friendship, not of knowledge, and then try to build a cybersecurity strategy after they get hacked. So the hackers, they really don't care who you are, what you do. They are not aiming you because you have more money than others or less money. All what they care is their own benefits. So what is going to happen in 2021 in terms of cybersecurity? To understand the future, we have to look in the past. I always give a great, we have a great example here in UAE. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Maktoum. What he did in the last 30 years, we are all in UAE, in a wonderful world-class city with ultra-smart opportunities for the citizens as well as residents. A destination for tourists, which was a desert just like 30 years ago. We are in heaven based on his vision and of course his counterpart's vision. So this tells us that the future is going to be bright as well if they continue on his, if he continues like this, and his successes will continue in his footsteps. Same applies to cybersecurity. If you build a proper defense mechanism, a proper strategy, then you should be assuming less damages in the future. So to be able to predict what is going to happen in the future, let's look back. What happened in 2020? I mean, we all know cyber attacks were on rise. I mean, forget about 2020. Just last week, one of the world's biggest computer manufacturer were demanded to pay 50 million US, I repeat, 50 million US as ransomware money. What is ransomware again? Ransomware is like, I kidnap you and I ask your partner or your parents or your company to pay money. If not, I will harm you. The way ransomware works in computers is I encrypt your computer, it's your computer, but I lock it down that you cannot access it anymore. And I will ask 5 Bitcoin, for example, to unlock it. It sounds less, right? Like five Bitcoin. You know that a Bitcoin is around $60,000. And I'm just talking about the individual computer. What about that computing manufacturer, which was demanded 50 million US? Just recently, Garmin had to pay 4 million US, or JWC Travel had to pay millions. So ransomware is on rise. When we look at ransomware, it is not new. It is there since 1980s. The first ransomware attack happened via physical floppy disk attack. So someone went physically and inserted to the computer and locked the computer. But if you remember in 2016, 2017, don't hold me liable for that, okay? WannaCry. What was WannaCry? A government agency was using a vulnerability called Eternal Blue. And Eternal Blue, was, called the reborn of ransomware attacks. So this Eternal Blue was then detected by Microsoft, and they released the urgent patch so hackers could not utilize this. Guess when the first ransomware attack happened after Microsoft released the patch? Not 2 hours later, not 2 days later, not 20 days later, exactly 2 months later. Half of the world were panicking. Oh my God, there is ransomware. What can we do? We have to protect ourselves. But hey, and back then I was working actually to Microsoft as well. People were saying, Ardal, this is your fault, Microsoft fault. I'm like, why? Yeah, the patch. I'm like, there was a patch available. Why did you not patch your computers, your systems before the attack happened? When we look today, year 2021, like 5 years has passed, 6 years has passed nearly, and people are still get targeted by ransomware. Of course, it's not the same vulnerability, but I see in many organizations still many legacy applications, still many unsecure passwords, still many misconfigurations. And as a result, these attacks are continuing. So, an example, if you know right now that I'm about to hit you in your face, what will you do? You will try to protect yourself, right? So, you know, hackers are looking for opportunity to hit into your computers. Why are you not trying to protect your computers, networks from those attacks? An example, Sodin, the Okubi ransomware. You know what it does? It is not just encrypting your computers, it is learning what is in your environment, collecting all this information and sending it back to the hacker together with your data. You know, acceleration is happening regardless, but they also learn about your environment. This tells me something. They are looking to come back, especially if you pay them once, they're going to come back and ask for more and more based on my predictions. As I said, there is lots of organizations, they still getting attacked. Solution is easy. Have a backup. Test the backups and ensure it's offline that nobody can reach. It's totally a trusted network, zero trust network maybe. Structure organization. Regularly update your firmware and hardwares and softwares. Build a defense in-depth strategy. You know, we talked about COVID. We said, wear your mask, use your hand sanitizers. You know, I love my Emirates pack. We usually say, you know, keep social distance so you will not get COVID. Same things apply to cybersecurity. Same thing applies to cybersecurity, and this is what it is like cyber hygiene. You know that one of the world's biggest cybersecurity firms were just hacked. Because of that, many companies were hacked accordingly through the same attack, the SolarWinds attack. And you know, FireEye, who was hacked and did a great job and explained everything how the attack happened, but the root cause of the attack was the SolarWinds by Orion. You know what the ex-CEO said? This ex-CEO blamed an intern to have a password SolarWinds 123. This is one of the most sophisticated attacks that we ever saw. The attack for runs to FireEye and partner companies. But the attack started in the first place with a password called SolarWinds 123. And look, the CEO, most probably he built lots of profits, but I really wonder who hired the CEO. Because a CEO's job is to hire the right people to build a proper cybersecurity strategy. Because you can see one mistake that he or she does can affect the rest of the world accordingly. So my question is to all hiring managers. How did you last hire? Did you hire a friend? Did you really hire someone who deserves to be there? When you hired, are you challenging them? Look, you don't have to know cybersecurity. It's my job. You don't have to know technology. It's Aisha's job, you know. But you, as business leader who is managing the organization, should be aware of possible. You know, you should just not know profit growth, but you should also know how to defend. The same applies to me as a Chief Information Security Officer, CISO. I should understand how the business works and build a cybersecurity strategy to protect the business accordingly. Besides ransomware, of course, there were some other issues as well. We saw many Corona-based attacks. What happened is hackers started to register. I mean, this is all news, how many websites were hacked or how many people were hacked through COVID teams. But this example, just early last year around this time, there was less than 100, you know, around January, so less than 100 COVID-based domains. You know, COVID is not new. It was there for years, but COVID-19 was new. But around this time, exactly 1 year ago, 25th of March in 2020, we had more than 190,000, close to 100,000 COVID-related domains registered. Domain is like www.erdalaska.com is the domain name, okay? The internet address you enter. And as you can guess, most of those were used to create cyber attacks. It were rough domains. So besides that, you know, you receive email. You are really harmless. You think the email is harmless. You click on the email attachment. While you see the left side of the screen, double click, my new email. Following my meeting with Tony Miller, Chief Operating Officer of North. While you're reading this, you can see what the hacker see in the right screen of right side of the screen. He's using a reverse shell, a payload, which is embedded to the Word document and getting, maybe she, by the way, he or she is getting access to your computer. Unfortunately, things which looks harmful, like just an email that I'm reading, just an Excel that I'm reading, can give full access to hackers. And you can see in the background that the hacker have now full access to your organization, to your computer. And from one computer, they can literally move to other computers. And you know what? Detecting this attack can be more than 250 days, can take more than 250 days. What else? I saw a rise of social engineering attack. What is social engineering? Social engineering is hacking humans, not computers, making you believe, like, we do it all the time. Like, hey, do you know who I am? You know, we try to threaten, I am a big guy, so I can bring you down. Social engineering is basically making people believe what you want them to believe. During COVID, unfortunately, many hackers, threat actors started to send emails, saying SMSs, phishing attacks, saying, hey, you know what? Now you can get free vaccine in this center, even though it was not true. I'm talking about early days. People click on these emails and they were getting infected. What else? When we look in the attack vectors globally, we see, based on the Verizon report, lots of misconfiguration attacks. Remember my example, you go to 2050, get the technology, but you don't use it correctly. An example, you have a big family and you need a family car and you love to go to the desert. Will you buy a Ferrari with 2 doors or will you buy a 4-wheel drive? Of course, if your aim is to go to the desert and get the family with you, buying the 4-wheel drive SUV is a smarter choice, because the Ferrari is not gonna drive you far away in a desert. So this is a misconfiguration, mispurchase attack. Then passwords. I give an example, password SolarWinds123. If you have password like that, if you are not using MFA, look, I can give you my password right now, no problem. But even to my personal computers, I'm using personal accounts. I'm using MFA. I don't know if you can see it, for my Google, Microsoft, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Komodo, Nerd, and all this software that I'm using. I have MFA. So even if you steal my password, you will need this code to log into a system from a different location. So, in summary, in 2020, there was an attack every 39 seconds. It costed billions and billions to the organization. There were lots of websites hacked. They were spent lots of money. So, this should now give us the prediction to 2021. What is going to happen in 2021? It's not hard to guess. Ransomware attacks will stay in headlines. I just gave the example. Acer, one of the world's biggest computer manufacturers, were hacked and they were demanded to pay $50 million. State-sponsored hacking will rise, unfortunately, because ransomware is called as cash collector. It's the easiest way to have your cash. as we started to shift work remotely, unfortunately, the attacks like before, for me, I used to wake up, take a shower, drive to the office, pass security, use my swipe card, log in to get to the lift, use the swipe card, go to my level, use the swipe card, go into the floor, and then sit in my office, log into my computer, connected to the corporate network. But today, I am currently in a hotel. In that hotel, I'm connected to the hotel network, and I use my corporate VPN. I repeat, corporate VPN to connect to my corporate site. So I know the hotel can sniff on me. Or if I'm at Starbucks buying coffee and drinking coffee, I know the internet connection is not secure. As a result, I know hackers will try to bypass this. Instead of hacking my corporate network, they're going to try to attack my home network to gain access to my corporate resources. We love IoT, Internet of Things. Everything is connected to the internet. I love it as well. I can see, I can have, someone is calling me, apologies. I can see, I can see what people are doing at my home. I can see where my car is. I can see what my washing machine is doing. So, but this brings also some danger. If I can see it, someone who steals my credentials, my identity, if I don't put the right security measures, can see everything what I can see as well. You notice Do and Etisalat, for example, they're advertising 5G. Same, Apple, Samsung, they're advertising 5G. 5G is great, fast, speed, enabler, but it's also complex. Are you aware of the changes that 5G is bringing? Do you know how you can control the complexity and secure it? I think we're going to see some 5G attacks soon. I don't know, this is just prediction. While we're moving to the cloud, of course, you're going to see cloud attacks. As a financial sector, we should be, as usual, be aware, because after ransomware, we are going to be also attacked to, vulnerable to attacks banks. All right, what can you do? You can utilize right partners, right cybersecurity partners. Besides that, you can look around what's happening, like in the dark web. Dark web, many people have the assumption that it's illegal. No, it's not illegal to go to dark web, but it's illegal to do illegal activities in dark web, such as ordering guns or heroin or whatsoever, or hiring, buying stolen data. Dark web could be a very good resource for you to see what's happening. I mean, if you cannot do it, use partners who can do it for you. There's many many intelligence partners. They can help you with this, or you can use some open security intelligence tool to help you to this as well. Dark web is the bigger web that we are not even aware of. What we're using is just the 3% of the internet. The rest is unfortunately dark web. So in dark web, people love it. When I say people, defenders and hackers use it because they think they're anonymous. There's some freedom. There's some circumvention. Unfortunately, there's some illegal activities as well. But there is lots of knowledge which you can gain and learn what's happening. All that you have to do is download the Tor browser and collect intelligence. But again, if you cannot do it, use some partners who can do it. What is threat intelligence? Threat intelligence is like secret agency. Look, I'm pretty sure you heard the name James Bond. Who was James Bond? MI6, which is a British intelligence agency, right? Which James Bond was a spy in movies, Hollywood character, goes to countries, collect intelligence, and back to their own countries. This is exactly what threat intelligence is, but in a legal way. You learn from your partners what's happening in the environment, and they will, feed you with information so you can protect yourself better. it gives you the opportunity to see what threat actors are doing that you cannot find out yourself. Threat intelligence is really important because it is also, I always give this example. You must be something urgent. I apologize again for this interrupting phone calls. You cannot, doesn't matter if you like if you know your next door neighbor or not. We live in a metropolitan city, Dubai city, or you could be living anywhere in the world, New York or Sydney, or maybe in a small city. You don't have to know your next door neighbor. But if there's a fire in your next door neighbor's house, I would highly suggest, even if you don't like your neighbor, to go on to help. Why? Because that fire, if it's not controlled, can jump to your house. And this is how cybersecurity is. If your competition bank is hacked, don't be just happy. Most probably they're using the same systems. Most probably they use the similar development tools to develop their own applications. Can you please stop calling? I'm in a call. I'm sorry for that. Internet, this is a really great experience, partnerships to collect this and protect your environment better. Threat intelligence can be done in multiple ways. I don't want to go to details, but as I said, you can use a threat intelligence partner to get your feet externally, or you can use a threat intelligence team to feed you internally, or you can use partners in a different way as well. So back to topic. Now, Sun Tzu. Who is Sun Tzu? Sun Tzu is a general who lived 2,500 years ago, and he said, if you know your enemy and know yourself, you don't have to be you don't have to fear of any attack of any war. If you know your enemy but not yourself, be careful. Or if you know yourself but not your enemy, be careful. But this is also not enough to win a war. To win a war, you have to know yourself, you have to know your enemy, and you have to know where you're fighting. If you know all this, you don't have to be afraid of losing a war. So in reality, what he's saying is, let's translate this into cybersecurity. If you know your technology, if you know your assets, if you know your threat actors, then you should be able to protect yourself better. As I said, risk management is also important when it's come to build cybersecurity, digital future. You should always assess everything based on the risk. And for that, you can use either dark web or threat intel partner, but you have to link this to your business and assess the risk. It's like driving a car. Doesn't matter how good driver you are, you still get your car insured. Why? Because the insurance is, doesn't matter if you're a good driver or not. If someone hits your car, at least you will have the opportunity to get your damages back, even if the other side doesn't have insurance. So with insurance, you mitigate the risk to third party. And this is exactly what risk management is. Based on the risk, you can either transfer the risk, ignore the risk, or you can buy cyber insurance. As long as you know your people, you build the right processes, and use the technology around this, then all this should help you to be in a better future. As I said, remember Sun Tzu said to win a war. I translated this to cybersecurity. Knowing the threat actors will help you to build a better cybersecurity strategy. Knowing your weaknesses will strengthen your defense. Knowing your technology will empower you. Now, combining all this, knowing your technology together with your weaknesses and knowing your threat actors together with your weaknesses and technology will master your defense. And we, as technology leaders, you might be CIO, CISO, whoever you are, it's our job to understand our environment and help build a cybersecurity culture to secure our digital future. Look, the example that I gave in the beginning of my chat, the CEO who was blaming an intern to have a password such as SolarWinds123. You know, in my opinion, he is number one responsible person of the cyber attack, because it was his job to hire the right people, as I said in the beginning, to build the right cybersecurity strategy. If you create a policy that you cannot use a weak password like this, then all what we can do is, make hackers' job harder. It's hard to stop them, but at the moment, attacking you is easier and cheaper than you can think. The hackers, they have unlimited resources most of the time. And they know we defenders, we have to defend everything end to end. We have people, in an organization like mine, close to 100,000. We have devices, God knows how many, physical, virtual, mobile, then gadgets such as Apple Watch. I have to protect them all. So there is lots of Linux, Microsoft, Apple, Cisco, lots of hardware, software that I have to protect. Then I have to ensure that my humans, they don't click in emails, they look harmless. It's just a Word document. Remember my video where the victim was clicking a Word document, but in the meantime, hacker was getting full access to their system? So it's my job as technology leader to build a culture that people notify me any kind of attack. Just imagine, when this email came, instead of that user clicking to that email, look, are you expecting an email from Du, who's asking you to pay your bill? Or very recently, I started to receive lots of scam emails from, looks like it's from Emirates Post, which is not, by the way. It says, hey, you have a delivery. Please click this please click in this document. When you click on this document, it asks you to enable the macro. When you enable the macro, it asks you to fill your details so Emirates Post can release your parcel. In reality, you don't have to do any of these to get your parcel released. You don't have to provide a credit card or your password. I'm just talking different attacks as well. Or more importantly, the email says it's for Emirates Post, but when you look at the email address, it is, instead of Emirates, with the I, they put a 1. Instead of Emirates with the S, they put a 5. So it's not even Emirates Post. It looks like Emirates Post. So why are you believing and clicking on this? If that user, instead of clicking to that email, reported that message to me to analyze, or to my team to analyze, I could find this attack way before it started, and I can see if this email sent to anybody else, and if it is, I can just block those emails before the attack starts. So if I can create a culture where people, instead of clicking, they report it to me, and this could be a legitimate email. The team can easily analyze it. If it's safe, send it back. But if it's not safe, block the rest of the attack. And this is the biggest difference between us, defenders, and the hackers. The hackers, they need to find one way to be successful, but they have to be successful end to end until they, when they create the malware, they have to test it. They have to ensure it's not detected by any technology, and it has to go all the way in to the organization. And then from there, they're going to jump in to different systems. But if I could detect one part of the attack, I could just stop the rest. In summary, it is our job as technology leaders to build the cybersecurity infrastructure, to build the future of digitalization. There is one thing what you have to keep in mind. You cannot defeat the threats of today with the tools from tomorrow. Like you cannot predict the world without foreseeing COVID-19 effects, right? So when I call COVID-19, you all see it very clearly. The same thing applies actually to computer viruses as well. The other thing that you need to have is you need to have assume breach mentality. What is assume breach mentality? It's like, remember I was giving the example, if you know I'm going to hit you any second, you will try to protect yourself. If you work, I mean, we live in UAE and UAE is very safe. But let's assume you are, in a unsecure country or in a city or even UAE, for example. It's nighttime. You have lots of valuable in your bag. I know it's a very safe country. Please, it's just an example. If you walking in an empty street, I'm pretty sure you will still try to protect your bag, just in case someone doesn't grab it. And I know this is not the case for you. Again, it's just an example. You will, if you have your phone, you will not just leave it in your hand. You will probably put it in your pocket. So just in case someone snaps it from you. So you will try to protect yourself, right? So why not do this in cybersecurity? There is lots of hackers around. They're doing all these activities to hack you. So why not take the extra cautious to protect yourself? With this, I'm coming slowly to my end of my presentation. I think I will have some time for the questions and answers. Please don't forget, you can connect with me in social media in all these channels. And we can just, I'm just going to the questions chat to see the questions. Here we go. Ninant has a question. BYOD is increasing in organizations. What kind of policies can we consider to protect the data, or do you recommend to do away with BYOD completely? Honestly, no. Look, I work at the moment in a bank. I have my corporate device, but I have also my personal devices. This is, for example, my personal iPhone, and I have my corporate mobile as well. I have the corporate emails in there. As long as I can build a mechanism which I can control the corporate data, BYOD is not bad. Yes, the risk is increasing, but honestly, it's not about, it's all about proper risk management. If we can do proper risk management, we assess the risk and we embed it into the business, we should be able to control the risk. Remember my previous example from car example, car insurance example. You have car insurance because of maybe you cannot afford to buy the brand new car again, or you are in a bank loan where the bank is forcing you to have this. So they say, sorry, we did a risk assessment and we need you to purchase insurance. So I don't think getting rid of BYOD is a smart way. We should use the technology, which is, BYOD is part of technology. As long as you can control this and assess the risk, you can monitor, it's good. Same with COVID. Let me give another example. Remember, first we were locked down in UAE, but then we started to receive, we had, excuse me, I think I got COVID as well. No, I got my vaccinations. Then we need to get permissions to go outside, but now we are in a controlled stage where we can go outside as long as we follow the rules. So this applies to the whole of the world. It's easy to say stay at home, but the whole economy will stop, and this is not good. So the economy has to move, and people, they have to go out of the home for their psychology. So the risk assessment was, okay, if we follow the rules and we protect the people with vaccination, we bring the awareness up about COVID-19, then we should control this disease. And if you follow the rules, most probably you didn't get infected unless you are really unlucky. I hope this answered the question. All right, there is one more question. In these days of social media interaction and ads based on what we browse and see on our mobiles, do you believe that ads are being used to target users with those ads with malpractice intention. I totally agree with you. Look, I think we all know about Google, right? I mean, this is a Samsung phone. We all know Google says, you know what, if you're using Gmail, be aware, not secret. I read your emails. Of course, they don't have people like me reading the emails, and it's a tool, and they give you advertisement based on your email. If I email you about blue jeans, probably you're gonna see Levi's or Adidas or related ads. Same in YouTube. I mean, just yesterday, I read a beautiful article about it. Instagram, Facebook, I mean, their sister companies, are the most ad collecting organizations. They try to give you ad ID and they try to push you related ads. I mean, for example, look at Apple. Apple is usually big on saying, hey, you know what? I am cool. We have a beautiful iPhone. It's secure. We care about privacy. I'm like, really? Do you? All what you have to do if you're using Apple, go to settings. All right, let's do it together. Go to general, scroll down, and go to where is it? Go to privacy, sorry. In the privacy, scroll down, you will see Apple advertising. Hold on, Apple, I thought you are cool, you care about my security, and I'm pretty sure you cannot see it. They have something called personalized ads, which is by default turned off. If you listen to Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, oh, we know about privacy, we do this, but hey, they do it themselves. By the way, I'm using it, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't have any other option, right? But my option is to limit it. I can even not turn it off. As you can see, it's green there. Yes, it's green. I just enabled so they cannot track me, or I cannot block them. They can track me limited. Oh, they say, you know what? We don't give you a name, but we give only your habits. Like, doesn't matter, it's still me. Or, if you ever buy, this is 11, if you buy iPhone 12, I love how Apple says, oh, you know what? We are not giving you charges because we care about environment. Look at the marketing lie. If you care about the environment, so if I need a charger, I have to buy a charger. It means there is still manufactured. So if you care about the environment, you should get all the profits of the charger, which is sold together with iPhone 12, and donate it an environmental cause. If you're not doing this, you're lying. And again, it's all marketing games. And as a result, they had a fine from Brazil government, $2 million. And I hope UAE is going to follow them because they are lying openly. They're saying, oh, we care about it. No, they're just saving cost of making the small boxer and not giving you the charger and increasing the profits. As a result, me as consumer, I have to pay more. So you're right. We should not just blindly believe on what is given to us. Another example, if you go to the app center, just go to any app that you like, just search. In this case, I'm going to Instagram. Let's go to Instagram, app security. Let's see what is Instagram getting of me. Scroll down, you will see here, after the ratings, app privacy. I mean, if you follow Instagram is getting my health and fitness data. Hold on, why is Instagram is a picture sharing, but it collects my health and fitness data. My financial information, yes, that I understand. Maybe you will use Instagram for shopping. My contact info, that I understand too. My user content. So if I search, for example, let's say I'm married, but I'm not doing this, please. But I search for some, to just stare or stalk and some of the girls. They know about it. I'm hiding this from my wife. I'm hiding this from everybody, but I cannot hide it from Instagram. My usage there, okay, this makes sense as well. Diagnostic, okay, this makes sense as well. My location, my search history. my identifiers, so they know who I am. So they can easily, as you asked in your question, identify me and send me relevant ads. And through cookies, it follows me in any other website I go. That's why when you look at Google, Google's mainstream income is advertisements. When you look at Apple, even though they are the only hardware and software manufacturer when it comes to mobile or device, like Acer, for example, they use Windows or Google Chrome, or Google, they use Android, they use Samsung, anybody else can use Android, but Apple is the only one who controls the full dominant market. And honestly, they produce great products, not as innovative as before anymore, but still better than others, in my opinion. But they get what they want from you, even though they charge you more, even though they say they are not. So as a result, I would highly recommend you to, I have a blog post. If you go to my blog, or you can just Google it as well. What Apple collects about you, what Facebook collects about you. And now you have the right, you can ask them to send you the data. All what you have to say is say you are part of GDPR, you are a European citizen, they're not going to verify that. They will give you access to your data, you can download, and you'll be shocked what they know about you. You'll be shocked how much information they collected about you. So in summary, as your question stated, there is many stuff they can, they are collecting from you. Any other question? I think there is no other question.
No, that's all, doctor. Thank you.
I think my time is also perfect, right?
It went on perfectly well, Doctor. Thank you very much for this presentation. It was really good.
I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
It was very vital and interactive. Very nice.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to see all of you. Please keep safe, keep your distance, and inshallah, hopefully we will be over off these bad days and we will see each other again. Thank you very much.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Erdal Oskaya, for highlighting how life changed with the COVID-19. Thank you very much.